I'm Suzanne Wild, the founder of Moving Stretch, and this is David Croft, who's a Moving Stretch trainer. We're just going to have a short chat about Moving Stretch, what it is, movement, stuff. David's new piano lessons.
I can play Jingle Bells for you if you want.
It's a very dramatic rendition. So David, how did you get into natural movement and stretching and stuff?
I think at some point in my life I decided to go to a yoga class. I think for the same reason a lot of people do, because the classic, I've got tight hamstrings sort of thing, so I go to a yoga class.
Can't touch your toes.
Yeah, so I started going to a class at the old church hall. I really enjoyed that. Then that moved to a different studio, so there are different types of classes on, so I started going to all these different yoga classes.
That's how they get you.
It is how they get you.
Was your first one free?
Yeah. And then that had like a nice diffuser in the room, and like it smelled really nice. Then my little shoulder rub at the end. Yeah, and that was it.
It's just a spiral from there.
It is, yeah.
They get you on a spiral.
I haven't stopped moving since. So I think I started like researching different. Just researching different movement things, and I came across Edo Portal. Came across the moving that thing. It just people mention you speak to people about it, and they mention these things. So I went on in the space of a month. I went on an Edo Portal workshop. I went on a moving that workshop where we met in Hampstead. Yeah, and
he was very lucky when he met me.
Very lucky when you dropped us on the floor and you carried us around.
We don't need to mention that, man. Did I drop you?
Whilst laughing.
That's
right,
sorry.
There's no remorse. It was almost as if it was on purpose.
No.
So yes, I went on them different things, and you learn there's different ways to move. You know what I mean? Like say when you go to a yoga class, you're doing a lot of the same thing, so you might get better at that one different movement, but it's not going to help you in other. I mean, life doesn't happen in that one thing. And then so we met. We started talking about like that day you had been featured in the you dropped us featured in the Guardian or something. I think you'd been featured in some sort of press that day. So I came for a session. Really enjoyed it. Started doing the self stretching.
Yeah. Did you notice any changes that you think maybe were unique to Moving Stretch, or did it all just kind of merge into everything that you were doing? Yeah,
I did. I sort of feel more confident.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because I'm quite as we were discussing earlier, full cameras on, like quite introverted. But I think it was probably physically because I was sort of hunching over that, and I started opening up and walking around more. Not walking around doing this every day, but just walking around. But I'm walking around just more open to things. I think I started being more comfortable in myself.
Because with the beard and the hair, if you walk around like this as well. This is the second coming.
Exactly.
David Croft.
I do get called Jesus at least once a day by
really?
someone. Yeah. Everyone thinks it's like the first person to say
it.
it
Do
to
they
us.
just look at you and go, Jesus?
A lot of times,
they
go,
hi, Jesus.
All of the above, yeah. Even if I went for a run, people just drive past and shout at us. I don't know what they want in return. Do they want to wave? Do they want bless? I don't know what they want from us.
I think stop walking around in the nappy, really.
That's probably what it is, yeah. The white robe doesn't do as they do. But
it's a look.
So I started doing this little stretching. I started, I don't know, I just felt more open. I felt more confident in myself, which is, that's always the main thing when people, obviously you get physical changes, but I had more of a shift in the outlook on things, just being more, I don't know, just a bit more sure of myself, not in an arrogant way, but not a bit more confident,
Yeah. No, you look different. It's good. It's an interesting journey though, isn't it? Because you start stretching, you don't really know how it's going to change you. And in fact, we don't really know how it's going to change our clients. I mean, we're pretty sure it's for the better, but you just don't know what people are going to do with it, really.
No, exactly, yeah, because you don't know what, obviously, how you feel physically helps how you feel mentally and vice versa. So if you can improve, say if someone's had like a niggling issue, if you're in pain all the time, it's just going to be constantly there, isn't it? If that then goes, they're going to have a complete shift in everything.
That's true. And I think there's something special about engaging and working with the fascia as well. I know that you do that in pretty much everything, because you can't not engage the fascia, but there's something about intentionally engaging it and working with it that's quite special.
Yeah.
And I think some clients are surprised at just the scope of changes they can get. When I started resistance stretching, my posture changed in just a week or so, and it did change everything.
Yeah.
You know, people reacted to me really differently. I mean, that's not the specific reason to do it. Obviously, you just want to feel better, but there's all these random side benefits as well, like it changes your body. And you know, like I was saying, you know, writing a book for the past year hasn't been the best for me, but now my first thing is to get more back into the stretching for me.
It's getting that constant practice, isn't it? Because you need to get into a routine, then you need to get out of a routine, so it's just making it a habit, isn't it? Just to do, and then after you do it, you think, say if you do a few days where you haven't stretched very much, then you have like even just half an hour little session of stretching. I thought you think, why don't I do this all the time? Because if you just feel so much better, don't you?
You do. It's kind of weird. You get this resistance sometimes to starting something. Maybe you're so aware of your physical condition not being good that you think, just why bother?
Yeah.
Or it's just going to be so much effort, but people don't really realise that they can enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine to enjoy it. You know, even with some of my clients, I'm just like, wow, just put Netflix or music on in the background. Yeah. Just to start with. Yeah. Obviously, it's better to be in tune with your body.
Yeah, it's better to do with the intent, isn't it? But if you get people started, I think that's a good thing about movement stretch and resistance stretching, because you are resisting for the whole movement, then you have to really focus on what you're doing. You have to have focus on the area what you're stretching. So I find it probably the most mindful way to move, because you actually are resisting, you're focusing on what you're actually doing the whole time.
It's funny you say that, because I think I wrote a blog article about that, or I was going to, because
we didn't plan that, by the way. I didn't know. Sorry.
Well done, you hit the first thing. Well, I was just thinking the other day, you know, it's kind of important about your attitude when you work out and when you exercise and when you move, because if you're feeling perfectionist about it or stressed, I think the hormones that you release in your body will affect the way that your body's affected at the time. So say you're happy and you're stretching, or you're self-critical and you're stretching, they'll have a very different effect. So I keep trying to tell people, try and enjoy it while you do it.
Do you think think it amplifies how you're currently, so if I'm feeling self-critical and I start stretching, do you think it'll amplify that feeling, or?
I mean, I think if you were being self-critical, you could definitely challenge it into self-stretching. You channel it into it, whereas I think it really, if you're doing it in a very self-accepting, connected way where you're honouring your body, then it's going to have numerous benefits. One, the chemical effects of having a certain attitude. It might affect the type of how you affect your tissues, for example. So you know when you have like a shock or a trauma, and then that can stay frozen within the tissue until finally you're ready to release it and you get a body work or you manage to release it for yourself. So that has to have a chemical component. So maybe your emotional attitude when you stretch is important to the changes that you're having. So if you do it in a way where you're feeling kind and, if not happy, at least very present and honouring yourself, it's going to have a different. I mean, this is probably a bit deeper than we meant to talk about, but. And the other thing is, if you're feeling self-critical or really goal-oriented, you're much more likely to hurt yourself by pushing hard, because you're not thinking about your body, you're thinking about the goal.
Yeah, I made that mistake before.
Well,
go hard or go home.
Go hard and limp home.
Exactly.
I went too hard.
But love the also there is you do have to challenge your body and force through the tissues to have some sort of effect with it. But then there's that point where you are working hard in a safe way and then pushing past that, like the difference between pain and discomfort, isn't it? Like obviously if you're stretching make a difference, there's going to be a bit of discomfort there.
Yeah, it's going to be something like a challenge feeling.
But if you're getting that pain, then it's
how many people actually know the difference between a good challenge and a bad challenge, do you think? Do you find that hard with your clients?
Yeah. I think see a lot of people do try and fight fight you, so if you're stretching them, they'll try and like fight as if there was some sort of competition.
Don't
It's
win.
not. Then some people like just don't resist, and because they maybe say they have had an injury, they're scared to resist a bit, so you've got to try and push people through that. It is safe to move. To put some force through, so it's just finding that balance.
So Dave was talking about the assisted moving stretch, not the self stretching so much. So when you're doing assisted moving stretch, it's kind of nice because as the client, you just resist, and then the trainer moves you. Whereas when you're self stretching, you have to move yourself.
And then it's with the self stretching, your body can't just compensate for certain things, so you might avoid the area where you need to be.
Yeah.
But
and you don't notice it. You're just like, I'm just doing this, just completely avoiding.
And say if you're stretching me, you're going to take me through the bit that I need to go through.
Just to be annoying. Really.
Just to be exactly. Yeah, you're very good.
This is where you're weak. This is where you're weak.
Exactly. Yeah.
Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Feel free to resist anytime you're ready. I am resistant.
It's futile.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's how I do that joke a lot if I get some of my clients who are quite one particularly I was a powerlifter.
Yeah.
I do like to say like, okay, resist. Yeah, whenever you're ready. And he's going, I am resistant. Yeah, just make myself feel better, really.
Yeah. I know. We are like that. Anything to gratify our egos, no.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But I mean, it is interesting to powerlifters because they lift so much weight, and then just to modify a movement by 1 millimeter and find this whole unexplored territory where they're super weak is interesting, because a lot of functional movement stuff is really about being able to go out in nature where they don't have a load of resistance machines and lift something. And if you need to move your arm like 2 millimeters out to the side in a way that you never normally do it on a machine, and you're suddenly weak, like what's the point?
Exactly, yeah.
So it's all about interconnected strength.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realise that about moving stretch. It's also about strengthening at the same time.
That's really important, isn't it? It's like the difference between like flexibility and mobility, like that. You're having an active range of motion or passive range of motion. So obviously, if you're quite limited flexibility wise, you do need to work on that, but you also, more importantly, need to work on having the strength and the range of motion you've got. And then if you do get more range of motion,
what's the point going there if you're weak when you get there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like going somewhere really expensive on holiday and not being able to go to a restaurant or do anything. And just like, I'm here, but I can't do anything, and also I can't afford to come back again.
Yeah. Get good selfie for Instagram, tag yourself wherever you are. Yeah.
Life goals.
Exactly.
Crying behind the scenes.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyway, to get back to stretching. But yeah, it's interesting. It's like that because it's like, what's the point in doing the splits if you can't get back out of it again?
Yeah. I wish I could do the splits.
Do you?
No, not really. Be good though, wouldn't it?
What do you wish that you could do physically?
What else should I do physically? Well, I think everything that I need to do, I pretty much can do. But if it's like just getting about day-to-day life, getting down, picking things up, getting the shopping out of the car, just day-to-day things, lifting things up, like, there's a lot of people can't do that.
No.
Can't do that. If I was asking the question is what would I like to be able to do, that maybe is a bit different. I would like to do like maybe a handstand, things like that.
You can't do a handstand,
well,
can't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought I could.
Against the wall or something?
I could do it against the wall, yeah.
Are we not counting that? In that case, I can't do one either.
I thought, when I first started going to your classes, I thought I seemed to do handstands. I did one against the wall and thought, this seems easy, I can do a handstand.
It's fine.
I tried to do one in the room, end the phone, then I was smashing my laptop, which,
Well, at least you didn't smash yourself, though.
Exactly. Yeah. It did hurt a bit,
Yeah.
But I mean,
that sounds like quite stressful. I think progressions are really important.
That's it, yeah. So the hand, if I want to say, I don't know why I picked a handstand. If I want to do a handstand, it would be more the journey to get there, so to speak. Like, what do I need to do to get there? Do I need to strengthen my wrists, strengthen my hands? I think that's all the thing, interesting, progressing to get there. So at the minute, I'm running a lot again, just because I had a few injuries, but that's the main thing. So that's just like being outside in nature and through the forest and stuff. It's,
that sounds amazing.
Really nice. And I'm working a lot on the gymnastics rings.
Yeah.
Just because, it's fun.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I blame for a lot of fitness injuries is montages.
Okay, yeah.
You know when you have a montage in a movie?
Yeah, right.
And they like have like 2 days to get super hot or something.
Okay.
But they have a montage.
Yeah.
I think I fall into this too. I'm like, I could do that in like a week. And this is like, no, you can do it after 3 years of consistent training.
That's it, innit? Yeah, because everyone wants that. It's like that, say, 4 to 6 week programs, like they get abs or
Good
whatever.
start.
I mean, it's that's all well and good, but surely it's not sustainable, is it? You can't. Obviously, a lot of people don't do the high intensity stuff, but it's like, again, that's not sustainable. Really, you need to have that balance.
Yeah.
Like, I like to follow like an 80%. I like to follow an 80-20 thing. Do like 80% if I'm moving around, just low intensity, and if I go run, I'll keep my heart rate down. I'll do it low.
Yeah.
20%, then I'll go all out. So I'll be all out, or I'll be keeping like more than like an aerobic.
Yeah.
So on sort of thing. I like to keep that rule with everything.
I think with the stretching that comes under like people are like, oh, I want to get flexible, therefore I have to push it really hard. But the weird thing is that if the body doesn't feel safe, it's actually not going to progress.
Yeah.
So in an odd way, sometimes less is more, or enough is more.
Yeah.
But moderation isn't a very sexy concept. It doesn't necessarily.
It's not.
No.
Get flexible
Can you imagine?
in 4 to 6 years rather than 4 to 6 weeks. It's not going to sell very much, is it?
We have only a 4-year program.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, you can get amazing changes straight away.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But those changes are more in how you feel in yourself.
Yeah.
So you take away like the more superficial tension that's maybe holding you in a certain pattern.
Yeah.
But then there are certain changes that do take a long time, like the conditioning, and you do have to put more consistent effort in, which is kind of it's a bit annoying, really, especially in our culture where we want things yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, but it's really like a journey.
It's just being consistent with things, isn't it? It's like seems everything like if people go on like some sort of diet, like crash diet, whatever. You guys just just consistent, and then like then if you do say people have this cheat day sort of thing, if you do like go away for a weekend or whatever, or do something, you have like eat like food that you wouldn't normally eat. Who cares? So you just you know what I mean, just have it, and then some people think if I'm on diet or whatever, they'll eat something like whatever pizza or something, and think, oh, I'm doing that now, so there's no point. But no, just
all or nothing mentality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot of black and white thinking around nowadays, though, aren't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and again, it's self-acceptance. Like I'm very hungover today. But
Sorry?
I'm very hungover today. So this morning I was like, oh, why did I have that extra drink last night? Then it's like, oh, okay, well I had it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself last night. Now I'm just okay.
But to be fair, I am judging you quite a lot.
You should. Yeah, I think I'm judging myself.
Having said that, I was hungover yesterday.
But then I did when I got this morning. I did a bit of stretching, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all it was. 15 minutes. Like that's a habit now that I've gone to. When I first get up in the morning, the first thing I do is drink some water. Then I'll move a bit, moving around my joints, stretching, and now I don't think about it. I just do it. It's just getting that picking up a habit of just doing it. Yeah.
Do you find it hard to help your clients get to their self-stretching, like make it a habit? Do they often come and they're like, I haven't done my homework, and they look a bit sheepish?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's fine because like more work for me.
Yeah, great. No, but again, it's like you said, with their homework, you try not to like say that sort of thing, do you? Like, you
come up with a good.
It's trying to not make it something that they've got to do, it's something that they want to do. Is that
exactly?
You know, but I think
but not in a tacky way. Like, you know, when someone wants to charge you money and they're like, your life investment is only $600. It's just like, here's your happiness goal for the week. These are your 3 stretches.
I'll fall for all that sort of stuff. I'm really gullible. Oh, really?
Well, in that case, David, your life investment for today is $600.
Alright, where's your bank card? Alright.
You will be instantly poorer with this small transaction. And slightly less happy and sure of yourself.
Yeah. Perfect, just what I need. But when people start doing the self stretches, once they get the benefit of it, I think, and then they keep on doing it. It was, it's just. I think if people feel the benefit of doing it, makes them want to do it more, isn't it? It's just getting it. No, that's just the initial start. Like, see, like sometimes I've got a pile of books that I want to read. But I get so, I think, oh, I need to read this book. If I read it, I really need to, like, I end up making notes when I'm reading it, and it just comes into a chore, which is similar to especially might feel as a chore. So like you need it. So it's just like
just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it.
Actually, the key to a lot of things is just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think, well, it's either hard work or I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, well, if it's hard work, I'm not good at it, so I shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm finding it hard, it's something I shouldn't do, when it's always exactly the opposite. It's like, if you're finding it hard, that's your weak area, that's what you should do.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe not for your career, but for a way to work on yourself.
Yeah. It's something that you can do easily. Then maybe you don't need to do that anymore. You can do something else. You need to challenge yourself.
That's like people who are like super flexible, so they go to yoga, which is great for them because it can strengthen them. But it's kind of like, do you need to do that, or maybe you should go to a strength training class?
Yeah.
Or do something completely different.
So now I was doing the yoga training. We're talking about there's two types of people generally go to yoga class. Some people are really flexible who go because they can do it, whatever it is, but then feel like really good about themselves, and people who opposite end of the scale who can't move at all, like me. Yeah.
I am a tight little robot.
Yeah,
I cannot touch anything.
Who want to try and get more flexible or move better. Then you get people go, oh, I'm not flexible enough to do this movement class, or I'm not flexible enough to stretch. Like, oh, no, well, who's to say what is flexible enough, what's not flexible enough? Maybe if you feel that you can't do that, and try it and see how it goes.
Exactly. But it's different. It's not like going to some sort of aerobics or athletics class at school where you go to performance. Like these kind of classes, you do it because it's for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for everyone else in the class. So even if you can't really put your own shoes on properly, if you're that inflexible, then that's exactly the sort of people who should be coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
to the
what you want.
classes.
Yeah, exactly. And then, say if you come to a class and you can't do something, well, again, you can't do something. Like, it's not. You can always do something.
You can't do anything.
You don't have to.
That's David's pep talk.
Exactly. What are you doing over there? That's not.
Rubbish.
I love saying that. Sometimes when you're demonstrating something, you're talking through something. Everyone in the class is doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
If one person's doing completely something different, you think, what am I saying and doing? Yeah, for you to be doing that.
He's blazing his own trail.
But you really
don't stand in his light.
But it is then, say if someone really is being challenged by it, is regressing the movement and is trying and make people feel comfortable, not compared to anyone else. Just move how the best of your ability. Move. Just listen to your own body. Don't just because someone else can maybe look really good doing a forward fold.
Because if you're competing with people about stretching, something's gone wrong, hasn't it, in your life?
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you're like, I'm bendy.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm bendy. You can talk to me if you want, but you know.
Yeah, do you mind if I just do a forward fold when I'm talking to you, just because I can't? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's also like educating people as well, isn't it? I had one client who went to the doctors about the pain she was having in her shoulder, and the answer she got was, oh well, it's just you're getting older now, it's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's so sad.
I know, I couldn't believe it when she
said
that.
That makes me so angry. I mean, I feel sorry for the doctors though, they're really overworked, and to be honest, they're getting a lot of problems.
But telling someone that, there's nothing you can do, and then she obviously...
You're facing an inevitable decline, just make your peace with it, old lady.
Exactly, yeah.
You're 50 already.
I've done like 3 sessions and that pain had pretty much gone. Just like, I didn't realise this was possible, and so people are just being aware of what you can do.
I always felt like at school people should get a physio, a personal training session and a physio session if they need it when they're like 13 and 15 and 18. So that then they get exercises they know they can do, or they find a sport they know they like.
Yes.
And it sets them up for life. And then in 50 years, the NHS's budget is like so much healthier, but it's just that initial cost of that is maybe prohibitive.
Yeah, it's the long run's worth, isn't it, for that education?
It's just so many people,
when you're talking about schools, like, you go to school and you're sitting down all day. It's crazy, isn't it?
What is that?
And then I wonder why people go, oh, I've got ADHD sort of thing. But of course people are going to be a bit antsy because they're sitting down all day. You shouldn't be sitting down all day.
To be fair, I was fine with it, and I can sit like a pro.
Yeah, you
and
could.
Do nothing like a pro.
I couldn't. No, I wasn't very good at it.
It wasn't good for me. I mean, it's not good for most children. I think there's a lot of things in society where it's just assumed, like, you know, to be serious, you have to sit still and do things a certain way.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people with more energy or need to express themselves run into trouble. And I don't know, you can't really say a lot of mental health issues are definitely due to that, but
oh, no.
you know, like, basically you're getting children who naturally move, and you're forcing them to sit still for hours in a kind of unnatural position. I mean, it's not exactly imprisoning them, but it's not exactly not either. I mean, just because society says it's okay, it is a bit bonkers. And then you get people sitting in offices for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's not natural.
I mean, I was in some meeting the other day, and I was saying to stand the whole time. And
so difficult, David.
Oh, that was different.
How dare you do something different with your body?
You see that as a joke, but it was mental.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh, there's a seat." I said, "I don't see it." But I'm just not going to last that long. I'll happy to stand. And at least 5 people said, "Oh, there's a seat." I said, "Honestly, don't worry about it." It was. You think I've been doing?
I'm going to tell you.
You think I was doing something crazy because people just couldn't handle that. In the end, I sat down. In the end, I said, "Oh, look, if it's going to make me feel, if it's making me feel so uncomfortable, I'm standing up. I'll sit down." But I couldn't believe it.
Did you squat in the chair?
No, I didn't. I'm
going to tell you a really easy way to get around this problem.
All right.
You go into the meeting and you say, "Look, guys, like, I'm really sorry. I was having a really bad hemorrhoids day, so I'm going to stand. But if you could like not make a big deal out of it, that would be great." Isn't it like if you do something like a movement that is slightly unnatural, everyone just immediately assumes you're like a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're not conforming.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
crowd.
say if you're just waiting for the train, you just squat down and sit there. If you look as if you're daft off, I let off. Sometimes I like to hang off something on the train or something. Yeah. And then people think you're crazy.
Troublemaker. That's what I think. When I look at you.
I'm some rebel on it.
Regardless of what you were just talking about.
I'm a bit of a rebel, yeah.
But if you do anything, like if you drink your drink, and if I did this in public every time I did it, people would be like, they'd start holding their handbags.
I'm going to start doing that.
It's like, woo. And every movement that we make, do you notice it's really like straightforward?
Yeah.
There's this whole blind spot. No one ever moves to the side unless you're in a socially acceptable place to do it, like a stretching class or a movement class.
Yeah.
And then you're really weak because in society you have to do everything like forwards and backwards.
But I think that when you do start moving around different ways, this happened to me. I started looking at things differently. I started becoming more aware of what I was eating, more aware of what was going on around us. I stopped watching as much TV. I started actually trying to educate myself in things that I was interested in rather than just what people are telling you to be interested in, sort of thing. I think when you're stretching, you move around more and you become more aware of that. I think it has a massive impact. Yes, I started educating myself on food, on what I was doing day to day life, just moving around. I think with the movement stretches, it just brings more awareness to how you're living, doesn't it? That's what I found.
I think for me, it opens up my senses more.
Yeah.
As well.
Especially if you do it outside in the forest. Look, I live quite close to a forest, so I can't
my happy place,
do that. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, if you do it outside, it's even better. But I mean, just doing it anywhere, because it's sort of. I was in Crossword yesterday, very happy with myself. Came up with the answer obfuscated. I don't know if unobfuscated. Does that make any sense?
No.
You know when things are like.
I know I heard either of them words in your life.
So fancy. It basically means that I hope it means that your senses are kind of clouded. Things aren't clear.
Yeah.
And so quite often when you're just walking through life with a restricted body, say maybe slightly more toxins in your body and stuff, a little bit lower energy.
Yeah.
It's like you just deal with what you can deal with. You just pay attention to what you can afford to pay attention to. But you start opening the body up, you get a little bit more energy, and suddenly it's like someone's pulled all these curtains back and you've got a more like 360 view. Maybe not 360 like an owl, but wider. Me too.
Eyes in the back of your head.
Just like Exorcist.
That'll be a goal. What's your goal for the stretching class? I want to twist my head round all the way around.
I can help you with the projectile vomiting, not so much twisting your head all the way around.
Yeah.
Not in a way you're going to enjoy anyway.
Fair enough.
But no, generally speaking, it's like everything, even like light gets brighter sometimes. You know, you can hear better or you can think clearer. Mm-hmm. But I think taking that, getting more clarity in your senses and your sense of where you are in space and your life, and then that awareness starts to expand. It's like, oh, actually, this makes me feel good, this doesn't. Whereas when you're in a kind of low energy state, you're just like, well, sugar's going to get me through, caffeine's going to get me through, you know, like my shopping addiction's going to get me through, or whatever it is. But then when you feel better, it's like you're building on a solid base. You're like, okay, well, this will add to my life in the long term and the short term.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because all you've got to do is reach for your phone. And you can do anything you want to, just distract yourself from anything, can't you? I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'll sit on my phone for a long time and I think, God,
what's happened?
That's half an hour I've been doing. I've just been reading nonsense, like it's crazy.
Well, for me, the worst part about that is the fact that you're chopping and changing so much, because before then we would have had a long line of thought along one subject. Yeah. Which is really good for our brains. Yeah. To be like, la 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 la, I'm exploring one avenue of thought. And this is just like, this subject, this is great, cat movie, death in somewhere, and like, and you're just like, ah.
Yeah, but I've noticed if I'm reading an article online, I get halfway through and I'll notice I'm not really reading it anymore, and I think, oh, I can't even have the attention to read like an article or something. But then look through a forum, say I've been reading through some forum, and then you got different things I can read through that easy, but then because you see attention is just like so short and so.
My attention span has taken a major pounding from smartphones, and to be honest, if I hadn't been writing a book, I would probably just be like a goldfish.
Like what?
Okay, sorry. I was going to do that another time, and then something inside said no. That was enough. No, but what I mean
I feel like a joke about fish.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, let's do that instead. What is that?
No, I was thinking what it is.
Oh
yeah, two fish on a tank. One says, "I'll man the guns, you drive."
I don't get it. Oh!
They went in a fish tank, on a real tank the whole time. That's it. Sorry, carry on.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
That's one of the better ones as well.
No, but that's a good one. No, I quite liked it. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, it's fine.
No, but what I was going to say is that just the act of writing the book has forced me to hold my attention on one subject and go deeper into my thoughts and deeper into my thoughts on one subject, enough to articulate it in a fairly clear, hopefully, way. And that's pretty much been the thing that saved me from smartphone early dementia, I think.
That's really good. It's having the...
And it's a shame you haven't been saved. I mean, clearly,
it's
falling to pieces.
That's one of the reasons why I've started learning the piano.
Yeah.
For that reason, because I found my brain wasn't... my brain wasn't working like I thought it should, so I thought I need to learn something new. So now I'm trying to learn to read music and learn to play the piano. And because when you're doing that, I can't really think of anything else because it's all new, so I have to really concentrate on it. And that's why I'm trying to break the pattern of the smartphone is by
it is an addiction,
doing things
isn't
like
it?
Yeah, and also, get a shoulder when you're forward to doing this all the time.
Text neck. It's something that it's really good for my business.
It's great, isn't it? I see people around the phone think, oh, brilliant.
It is a very particular bending at this level because before, when you're reading, you're kind of slightly curved like that. But phone is like you're kind of curved like one of those lamps all the way over. So it's affecting people in a really specific way.
Especially when you think people now got phones from like 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, so from that age they're going to be like this.
Oh, I know, it's so sad, isn't it?
Yeah. And then go back to the attention, like kids just also on the phones, on the iPads and stuff all the time. It's just gonna be interesting to see how it pans out in the next 20 to 30 years or whatever.
Very interesting, yeah. It's gonna be. I think there's gonna be more of a need for us. Well, there's already more of a need for us to consciously work on our bodies because a lot of household chores used to keep people fit, using a mangle. you know, washing clothes, things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much for if the guy typically was out working in an office already, then, but even a lot of offices, there's a lot more to do that was physical.
Yeah.
So we need to consciously, like, not overeat if possible, exercise, but I think we're going to have to consciously take control of our mental well-being now, and part of that is mental focus and discipline.
Definitely, it's like everything now is just a press of a button, isn't it? Even things like if you're going to open your car, press a button and it unlocks.
Yeah.
You don't have to turn a key. You don't have to turn a key anymore.
The car that you just walk close to the car and then it unlocks it.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy because I used to check that the car was locked by opening the handle.
Okay, so you just got.
But you can't. And I'm trying to hold the key really far away. I'm like, no, it's not working. You're like, maybe you could throw the key across the parking lot and then check it and then run and get your key or something.
Yeah. I was fun.
Everything can be fun. Most things can be fun with the right mindset. But
yeah, but everything is too easy. I think because
it's too easy, but it's also really hard because people are having a lack of connection, and you know, a lot of the convenience is taking some of the humanity and the challenge. Like, you know, we were saying before, you need to challenge your body in the right way to make it healthy, and that's because of the way our physiology works. Is that if you're in space and you're in like zero gravity, your body's like, oh, I've got enough muscles for this, and then you come back to, I don't know, Russia or somewhere, Kazakhstan, and then you're basically getting carried, you know, so does that make sense? You've got no muscles left, so your body is just listening for you to tell it how much challenge it needs to put up with.
Your body will do what you tell it to do, won't it?
Pretty much, but you have to show it through doing the movements, so you can't just be like, be stronger. You have to like challenge your body in a kind of continuous way. Yeah,
and your body will react to it. Like when that guy Ross Edgley swam around Britain recently.
Oh, did he?
He spent like I can't remember how many days now, because he wasn't on land for like the whole time. When he came back on land again, his body just didn't know how to react to just walking around and stuff because he had spent that much time swimming.
Wow.
So he's had to like retrain himself to get back into.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he said he's the muscles in his feet just weren't working, so he had to retrain his feet to get. I think he's done it, but so your body will adapt to what you tell it to do. And if you don't tell it to do anything, you just tell it to sit down all the time. That's what it.
That's what it'll do. Yeah. Sit down in meetings, David.
Sit down and eat. That sounds good.
Or you could go full on crazy and just be like, Jesus does not sit for you.
I'm still waiting on the levitating thing. If I can do that, it'll be good.
Handstand first.
Often say in the class, I'll go off. So if you come down to sit on the floor, as opposed to sitting on the ceiling or whatever.
No. I just wish it was more normal for people to be able to move in the way they want to move, without being perceived as crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, because if I go to the gym and I start crawling around and stuff, I'm just start stretching, people look at you as if you are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think, to be fair, that's probably because a lot of crazy people do make odd and unexpected movements, and they can't tell because they don't know you. But if more people moved more, it would be more normal.
Yeah, so it is,
So
it is addictive when you crawl around as well. Once I start crawling, I can't stop.
You can't stop?
No. Exactly. I don't mean pub crawling.
Is that why you live in Crawley?
It is, yeah.
David's Crawley.
That's a good point, I thought of that. Maybe why I was attracted to the area so much.
Okay, so we've talked about, what have we talked about? How you got into the natural movement, and then all of the other random stuff. Do you have any advice for people thinking about getting into stretching for the first time?
Yeah. Get in touch for a session. No, just do it. Yeah. People spend a lot of time procrastinating, I think, over everything. Like, just find a trainer or go online and just or read the book or just start something. It's
What, David? Do you mean this book?
That's handy, isn't it? Yeah.
This show of wonderfulness.
Yeah. But just
do one stretch. That's what I would say. Yeah. Like, if you feel scared to be like, I can't do this today, just do one stretch. Go about your day. The next day, do one stretch. Make it super manageable. You know. Yeah. Unless you're fine with it, and then do like 20 minutes straight away or something. But I find that if you just do one thing, and then you're like, okay, it's not too bad, I can do this. Because it's not a competitive thing. It's completely for the individual's body, and it's really no one else's business, or to compare or anything like that. It's just a way for us to keep our own bodies healthy.
Yeah, so
you don't need to be like muscle man or
exactly. It's not competition. So obviously, just try it.
Yeah.
Try it for yourself, not for anyone else, and don't compare anyone else. Do just work with what you've got. And just let the results speak for themselves, really.
Exactly, and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah, fun is very important.
Yeah, you can even do it just things like you put the kettle on, think for the time the kettle's boiling, I'm going to stretch.
Yeah.
Just things like that, you know what I mean? So
I'm on board with the tea drinking, David. I like that strong tea drinking message.
Exactly, yeah, just little things like that, you know what I mean? If you...
in the States they don't have kettles.
What?
I know. They don't have kettles.
What do you do?
Do you know what? I feel bad about saying this on the internet, but they microwave a mug of tea.
No.
They do.
So 24, so I'm going in a couple of months. I'm not going to have a kettle.
David, I need to prepare you for this. You're going to go to LA, right?
I'm a northern man with simple needs in life, and a cup of tea from a kettle is one of them.
David, you're going to go, and they're going to give you a cup of water that was boiling in the recent past with a tea bag on the side. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You'll get through it. Maybe take a travel kettle. If you're American, you won't know how deeply this affects us, and if you're English, you can feel our pain.
I can't believe it. I'm glad it told us now, because if I'd have got me in from this out, I would have been absolutely nightmare. I'm preparing myself.
There's so many cafes that I've been to in the States, and they're just watching me like some kind of crazy rabid woman, like ripping the tea bag open, going, I can still do it, I can still make it tea. And then like mashing it with the teaspoon to get some kind of caffeine and tannins out. Yeah.
Oh, you've just... Yeah, I can't think straight now. I don't know. I'm glad you didn't say so at the start of the conversation. No, you're not going to have nothing for you. This is absolutely mental.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Alright, okay.
I'm sorry I mentioned that. But anyway, for the duration in the States, for the duration that your tea's in the microwave or that your coffee machine is working, you can just stretch. Yeah. It's going to be fine, David. You'll get a cup of tea somewhere.
But even if you're waiting for a bus, just do a little stretch.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do all the time, yeah.
And in Britain, we have the benefit of being surrounded by fairly judgmental but introverted people, so you only get sideways glances and you can just ignore them really easily. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. It may start a trend. Everyone may start doing it.
Oh my gosh, stretching envy is a thing, and massage envy is a thing.
Yeah.
So, if you're on the tube and you're just like, and then you see like some businessmen across the way, they're like, I need to stretch, I forgot about my body. Yeah. You can start like a Mexican wave of stretching on a train really easily.
I'm going to do it. Especially if you look like you're enjoying it. And I'll leave you and I'm going to see how that goes.
Yeah, if you look like you're enjoying it, feel like, that's so good.
Oh, you got to make the noise?
Everyone's just like, yeah.
I'm always amazed in a stretching class. People aren't making noises because when I stretch, I'm always making noises.
Little warning for anyone going to David's stretching class: jokes and noises.
Oh, bad jokes or
back to someone like dad jokes.
Always. I think that's why people come to class, not for the stretching. I think it's for the jokes.
It's like stand up.
Yeah,
you stand up in more than one way.
I'm using the stretching class as a practice, so we stand up the team. Yeah, pretty much.
And piano.
Yeah, the piano. Yeah, that's what I'm going to start teaching it in music. So I'm just going to start playing and singing the whole class. Yeah,
there's very little link to stretching at this point. It's some sort of performance.
It's performance art.
It's performance art.
Yeah, that's what it is, yeah.
You are a work of art, David.
Exactly.
We should probably end the podcast with that, or the podcast, I don't know, is it a podcast now? It's a video, we should end the video with that.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, so if you're thinking about stretching...
Or performance art class.
Or performance art. Being northern, making good cups of tea, any of these things, we fully support you.
Yeah.
Can we support people being southern? I don't know, I support them, I'm not sure David does.
No, I can tolerate them.
You tolerate them. David will tolerate you.
Your girlfriend's
southern, that's our message of inclusiveness.
Tolerate him, so
But if you are thinking about getting into stretching, you can check out the videos on the website, movingstretch.com. There's some free videos in there. This has been an extremely random chat. If you've made it to the end,
well done.
Well done.
I don't know
I
how.
think you could have been. Thanks. Maybe you should have done something better with your time. If you've got time to watch this, you've got time to stretch. Maybe that's the message.
You could have stretched
You
through
could
the
have
whole
stretched.
video, just out at the start, really.
You will never get this time back.
Can edit it now, so before we start this conversation, stretch for the whole video. Can you put that at the start of the conversation?
And there were little stretching videos.
Yeah.
No, I think people have to suffer through this.
Then watch it again.
Yeah, and then watch it again.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thanks.